Mao Zedong once said that women hold up half the sky. But is that true of China today? If we look around, China is modern and developed, but there are still old attitudes about the roles of women in society that still do persist. There's a growing number of female entrepreneurs who are challenging these ideas, but are they representative of any real change, or are they just window dressing what is continued gender imbalance in China? To help me find out, I'm joined by Virginia Tan, the co-founder of Lean in Beijing. So Virginia, thanks for joining me today.
Hi. It's nice to be here today, and thank you for having me.
Sure. Now, you provide mentorship, you have events, activities, and also recently you had a competition, right?
Yes, absolutely. We did this for the first time in May 2015 because we wanted to challenge ourselves and see whether we could hold sort of a larger scale event, which is sort of a bit different from the regular events that we held, which focus on, interactive sessions among women on education and skills, speaker events, and usually having mentors come in and talk about career development. And we felt that it touched upon a topic, entrepreneurship, which is pretty hot in today's China.
Especially here in Beijing.
Absolutely.
All right, to get a better look at what Virginia is talking about, we cross over. Martin Pollard produced this report on female entrepreneurs here in Beijing who are doing great work and also challenging previously held stereotypes about the roles of women in China. Let's take a look.
This is Plitz, one of Beijing's biggest annual fashion events. Designers are now benefiting from Chinese consumers' growing spending power and penchant for beautiful things. Over a third of the world's luxury goods are bought by Chinese. And by 2020, the country's fashion market will be worth over $200 billion. Here we find Jin Mengdi and Liu Mengyuan. They used to produce fashion programs for television, but they've since quit to start an app-based clothing rental and second-hand sales business.
有今天看中什么产品吗？
有，必须得有。
哪些？
有一些长长的、比较bling bling的一些大裙子 dress， 这些会是我们希望可以跟他首批来合作的产品。
The next afternoon, they come to the Pingguo Art District in East Beijing to pick up some dresses they've ordered from another top designer's showroom.
像这件衣服大概市场价是多少？
这件衣服大概在13万左右。
Their aim is to make this world of luxury accessible to the ordinary consumer. They will rent out dresses for up to 1,000 renminbi, and they will sell items second-hand using mostly an online auction format. Before entering this venture, they had stable jobs at state-run TV. Mengdi's parents were particularly happy with their daughter doing this. So I wondered, what did they say when she told them she'd be joining Mengyuan's startup?
我并没有一开始就很直接的跟我妈妈说我要辞职了，我就开始，其实那个时候我已经递完辞职信了。没告诉她。对，我都没有告诉她，然后我已经递完辞职信了。我跟她讲，最近有一个特别好玩的事情。但是你知道，因为我们现在在做的这件事情太新了，对于那一辈的大人来讲，他们是不理解的。 就会觉得，这个东西靠谱吗？谁会去买一个别人用过的二手的东西？其次，我们最核心的一个奢侈品共享的这一块业务，他们又会觉得，为什么要租衣服？就那么多人来穿同一件衣服，就他们会觉得不能理解，因为在他们那一辈来讲，这是一个太新潮的理念和概念，所以他觉得这件事情本身不靠谱，所以你没有办法很直接的跟他说我要辞职了。
Mengyuan is aware that there are risks, but having seen the rise of Uber and Airbnb, she's confident of success.
为什么房子可以共享，车子可以共享？那为什么对于女孩子她所需要的这些漂亮的衣服、包包、鞋子这些 fashion 的东西，她不能共享呢？于是我决定做一个这样的公司，来去试验一下我的这个想法。
Premier Li Keqiang would perhaps approve. He has made promoting startups a theme of his first term in office, shown by his recent visit to startup hub 3W Coffee in Zhongguancun, which has been called China's version of Silicon Valley. The idea is that startups will provide jobs and help boost a slowing economy. But what's the role of the country's women in all of this? Some signs are positive. Over half of Alibaba's Taobao online shops are owned by women. Amongst BRICS countries, China is ranked equal first with South Africa in terms of favourable conditions for high potential female entrepreneurs. But outside of studies like these, what's it like for women trying to make their idea big? I've heard it's tough, but I've come to Zhongguancun to seek the views from some industry leaders and experts.
I will come across 2 or 3 companies, startups, every day to talk to them, to help them. I think this.
So you come across many startups?
Many, I think many.
And what
especially in
percentage
Beijing.
of them are women?
1 in 10 or 2 in 10. That's not a big amount of girl startups, I think.
他们呢，首先是在一个社交的平台上，他们没有更多的这样一个机会去展示他们自己。第二个方面呢，就是从社会传统的来讲，投资者呢，有的时候对女性她抱有一定的警惕和谨慎。
他们一般不会太直接的，就是告诉你说我不投你是因为你是女性创业者，但是我相信他们会有一些顾虑，因为女性创业者确实她有很多家庭的因素，可能会导致她不稳定。
Her startup looks to offer these women a helping hand. It's an IT-centred women's startup competition organised by TechBase and Lean in Beijing. Over 100 teams from across China and the world entered. A final 20 were selected and then split into categories, Angel and Series A, according to the investment stage they're at. Angel is the first stage of investment for entrepreneurs, Series A the second. The earlier the stage, the bigger the potential rewards for investors, but also the higher the risk. Entrepreneurs must thus face venture capitalists known as VCs for short and other investors like Anna Feng from Gen Fund. She says that in China, one of the biggest obstacles for women entrepreneurs is perception of personal ability.
Takes confidence to sort of break out and believe in yourself and believe in whatever idea you have. And it also takes a lot of confidence to go to VCs, which are often men, but to go to a VC and ask for money. Sometimes when it's a female and male entrepreneur together, what I notice is that when it comes to asking for money, they'll look at the male partner, to start negotiating.
另一这本书里面有一句话，他说：“如果你无所畏惧，你会实现什么？”谢谢。
Competing in the angel category of her startup with her nanny service startup Miss Mama is Jiang Li Han. I'm coming with her today to her nanny training centre in Tongzhou, southeast Beijing. Jiang is a former lawyer, investor and author of a best-selling novel. She was motivated to start this company when, as an investor, she became increasingly frustrated at seeing the astonishingly fast success of startup after startup like taxi app Didi Dachua. Jiang wanted a piece of this. Then, on having a baby last year, struggling to find a good nanny and thinking of the recent relaxing of the family planning policy, she saw a potential gold mine.
我们北京市每年新生儿有大概25万到30万，每个新生儿的妈妈都要去找月嫂，都要去找育儿嫂，市场上是一种供不应求的状态。
眉毛弯弯，眼睛亮，鼻子高高，真漂亮。不愁清华和北大。
Jiang's husband has been very supportive, providing most of the 1 million plus RMB initial investment in Miss Mama. But there's no endless supply of money. So Jiang is now busy searching hard for an angel investor to help her move the business to the next stage.
还是不可避免的会有很多牺牲，那是一定有的。比如说，我女儿现在每天见我的时间可能就不超过半个小时，甚至大部分的时间可能见不到我。因为我早上出门的时候呢，她每天，比如今天早上我出门的时候，每天都一样了，她就会哭得很伤心，很伤心。她现在刚好15个月，到了第一个分离焦虑的阶段哈，所以内心肯定也是会很纠结哈。孩子这么小，会不会因为我们的陪伴太少，让她有这种不安全感哈？
But Jiang has no regrets. In any case, she remembers when she was a little girl, her mum, who was then a busy doctor, was also often out all day, most days.
做一个好妈妈，并不是说你每天陪在孩子身边就是唯一的方式。我是一个女儿，我希望她看到我，她慢慢的长大，她知道一个女人应该有自己怎样的追求，而不是说把希望完全寄托于下一代。我去给她做一个好的 example， 我去做她的一个优秀的榜样，让她知道怎么样去面对自己的生活，去面对自己的选择，去为自己的选择负责任。我觉得这是对她来讲，可能比每天守着她更重要的一课。
Another team taking part in her startup in the Series A category is a company based here in North Beijing.
There are now around 100 social networking apps in use in China, but this one is aimed at a specific group, that is women looking to get to know other women. It's called Les Do.
The company's 16 full-time employees perform a range of jobs, from app interface design to organising offline events.
Why did you girls decide to start this company?
Well, I suppose mainly for two reasons. And one would be because we are members from this community and we know like how difficult it is for people to have, you know, like to live like this, and it is great to have an opportunity that can use our professional knowledge to develop something that can make everybody's life easier. And secondly, I think we're really seeing the potential of this market.
Kathy's talking about China's relatively untapped LGBT or pink economy sector. With such opportunity, they feel like they must work very fast to realise the he who gets there first wins principle of internet companies. And they've not done bad. Their app has racked up over 1 million users in less than a year. But it's been very hard, say CEO Chen Gaigai and COO April Yang, to get top quality software engineers on board.
就是大家双方都非常认可，对这个项目的前景也非常认可，但是他自己一直觉得他的心结过不了。
In response, they had to push themselves to attend some of the biggest recruitment fairs next to some of the biggest companies, and their efforts were rewarded as they found some talent like Android engineer Zhu Longlong.
我会觉得这个和我以前做的那些工作上有一点区别，就是我会为一群人去做一些不一样的事情，或服务一些不一样的事情，很可能会给这个社会带来那么一些不同的地方，我觉得很有意义。
Meanwhile, back at their office in central Beijing, Meng Di, Meng Yuan and the other board members are having a critical meeting with their chief software engineer. Meng Yuan wants to offer customers an app that is both easy to use and has a wide selection of sizes, colours, styles and so on. Chief engineer Zhao Ran says their vision is possible. However, if they want to make changes now, there can be no turning back. Otherwise, the app may have to go offline for several weeks to give the engineers time to reprogram everything.
刚开始肯定是有，因为就像你刚才提到的，这个女性创业者她可能更多很理想，或者用的话，我觉得还是很感性的东西会更多一点。这样子呢，会让他们有很多非常好的 idea， 非常好的这种想法。但是呢，可能有一些想法，它会有一些，毕竟它是感性为主，所以它可能有一些东西它不会很细很全。
This afternoon, I'm joining the team in an Irish bar in the capital. This is a very important day for them. It's the first time they've held an interactive event with their online followers. After this event, the upcoming app launch and the Series A investment stage await the team. Meng Yuan loves it, but recognises it can be very hard work, like last night when she was working till 3 a.m.
这样的情况常见吗？
常见。
我觉得在女性创业过程当中，有很多的男性的投资人可能对纯女性的团队会缺乏一些信任，因为他们会觉得女性更 emotional，更情绪化。
But they're also realizing that women entrepreneurs have some strengths over their male counterparts, like when it comes to an understanding of the female consumer.
现在有越来越多的女性，她们可能因为工作或者因为现在这种社会的多元化，她们有越来越多的选择了。我觉得时间的早和晚，以及她选择 A 还是选择 B， 就是都不是问题。最终还是看个人的选择，不是每个人都要过完全相同的生活。我到了25岁，我就要去谈恋爱；我到了30岁，我就必须结婚，已经生了一个孩子。那我到40岁，我应该做什么呢？应该在家洗碗做饭吗？
A century ago, most Chinese women still had bound feet. Now, according to the Global Gender Gap Index, China is ranked #1 in the world for both female enrollment in tertiary education and proportion of female professional and technical workers. But in the category of legislators, senior officials and managers, it ranks a lowly 101st. And for ministerial positions, just 115th. Such figures add weight to the theory that in spite of recent progress, China remains a male-dominated society, where the majority of women are still content with a stable job at a large enterprise. Jiang wants more women to push themselves out of their comfort zones. We're joining her at one of China's biggest law firms, King & Wood Mallesons. She's come to consult with an attorney about how to best divide up shares and negotiate taxes once her company expands and enters the stock market, as she hopes it'll do. She's also come for some last-minute advice before a very important meeting she has tonight with a big-name angel investor, the very same one who invested in Didi Dachua.
And so what are you going to offer him tonight?
我能保密吗？真是。对，我们今天会谈很细节的问题，比如说具体的到底占多少股权，然后。
So you're going to offer him 20%?
Less than that.
How much does he need to give you for that?
哦，哇，这个要保密，这个要保密，这个是这个是非常机密的事情，因为我也不确定能不能够对 top secret， 我不确定这个事儿能不能今天晚上能不能就成功哈。
In Zhongguancun, it's finals day in the Her Startup competition. During her presentation, Jiang reveals to the audience that she was successful that night in getting the angel investor on board. But to win her startup, she still needs to put in a stellar performance against some tough opposition. In the Series A category, April Yang wows the audience with her presentation. But will the judges be as welcoming to such an alternative business idea? In the Angel category, Jiang gets the first prize.
冠军是一位这个是与武器有关的一个女，Miss 妈妈。
And in the Series A category,
最了解你的。
From what I understand, Lean in Beijing is a platform for young women here in China to be provided with help to achieve what they want to achieve in life. But don't you get some women who would say that we don't need help, or why should women be getting help if women are equal?
I think so far I haven't actually met any women who said that women don't need help. I do appreciate that there's probably, a part of the, the female population which, is not attracted to the concept, and we respect that. I think, our greatest role, here is about helping women overcome internal barriers. So I mentioned that I think the key word for women in this century is the freedom of choice to live, on their own terms. And the question is, what is your external environment actually telling you? Are they encouraging you to aspire to be, to be great, to rise to the top? Or is your external environment actually, consistently telling you that actually your role is at home? So you shouldn't be too smart. You shouldn't be too ambitious. You shouldn't want too much. You shouldn't want to overtake your husband. You shouldn't want to earn too much.
Now, it's not just in the sphere of startups or of business, but we see across all levels of Chinese society, there's still a kind of a way in which women are not equal to men in many ways. If you look at politics, something like only 5% of the top seats in China's cabinet are held by women. So if it's if things really work from the top down, then there's still a lot that needs to be achieved in terms of empowering women in China.
I do agree that there is still much to be achieved. We're not at parity yet. But I also think, in terms of the example of politics, I think politics is an interesting arena because, for example, if you compared China to India, at the 12th National People's Congress, 23.4% of representatives were women. If you compare that with India at national parliament level, you have 11%. However, you can say that in India, you've had much more high-profile women politicians. You've had a female prime minister, whereas in China you haven't. I think a lot of that comes down to certain cultural attitudes about a woman's role, and I feel that perhaps women feel that it is more their role, or how would I say this? I think, for example, a lot of women thrive in business. There are many powerful female business leaders in China. I think in a study done a few years ago, I think 11 of the top 20 self-made women billionaires in the world were Chinese. So it may be that, or it may be that business is an arena where women feel like they have, a greater sort of place to shine, or maybe it is their interest that, they thrive in this arena.
And talking about business being the place where women thrive, is that also because women have such massive spending power here in China? And China is massively consumerist, and we find that a lot of that consumerism that takes place is done by women. Yeah.
I think that's quite interesting. I think there was a study done by a Hong Kong university last year which said that a lot of women CEOs were being appointed in sort of the private sector, and that was fueled by market competition. I think the percentage of women consumption in China is a very interesting statistic. I think there was like a survey done by Women of China magazine where they said that 77% of household consumption was actually controlled by women. I think this shows the changing, female demographic in China, especially as younger women, are more educated and more independent, becoming more equal partners, in the household. To me, this creates opportunities on two levels. So, for women tech entrepreneurs that we've just, that we've just seen, the fact that I think statistics have shown that there are more women shopping online than men. I think women tech entrepreneurs actually have a strategic advantage in the sense that they already understand these women, they already understand the consumer behaviors of women.
The urges, the desires,
like how they shop, for example, how they buy clothes, how they buy cosmetic products, how they buy baby products. So I think this does give them a strategic advantage. However, there also have been many successful consumer companies started by men. I think the second opportunity that this creates is actually for companies who understand the way consumer behavior is changing in China. So, for example, regardless of who earns more money in a household, if women are actually responsible for furnishing the house, then a company which caters to the tastes of females in, for example, furniture or in automobiles, might actually grab that segment of the market. So, actually, I think there are certain advantages, strategic advantages for women, both from an entrepreneurship perspective and as for established companies, by the fact that women are spending more.
Welcome back to China Inside. Today we've been discussing the role of women in China today, and of course they have massive spending power in China. So how is that affecting the number of women who are taking up new entrepreneurship opportunities? And we've been looking at one person's idea, which is to, instead of buying a new luxury item, it is to simply rent it. But is this something that China is ready for? We took to the streets to ask people what they think.
你会愿意租他们的衣服或者租包包吗？
我可能更希望他们上线以后可以买。
那你会愿意买他们二手的衣服呢？
会有一点隔阂吧，不一定会。
这个你会买吗？我会。裙子我倒不会租，我会可以考虑会租包包。
我以前没有，但我知道这种服务其实还挺认可的。
不愿意吧？这个
我觉得
可能还好，但是包包的，
我觉得还挺好的。如果就是去一些场合需要，你就用几天，那样租比较划算吧。那如果你钱多的话，买是可以啊，是吧？谢谢。
What do you make of this idea?
I found that actually quite interesting and almost surprising, because I know this market sort of exists in other places like Hong Kong and the United States. I feel that, Chinese culture, likes new things.
New things, yeah.
New houses, new things. And in particular, I think clothing. For example, I think when it comes to bags and cars, I think as long as, the car didn't have an accident before, or, the bag doesn't have a big scratch, I think you're okay. But I feel like clothing is a much more intimate and much more sensitive type of consumer product.
Yeah.
So I was actually quite, impressed by the fact that this idea could actually fly.
Yeah.
But it could also, I think, at the end of the day, businesses which I think appeal, to a particular need of consumer base, and in this case, I guess it's the growing appetite for luxury, which is fueled by, again, the growing power of women consumers. Yeah.
Virginia, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you, and the pleasure was all mine.
That's all the time we have for this edition of China Inside. Today we've been talking about the role of women in China, and is that changing? If you have any comments, questions or suggestions, feel free to email us to the address on the screen, and please also follow us on our Weibo and our Facebook pages. Until next time, bye-bye.